You find yourself replaying a 5-minute conversation for 3 hours. You soften your tone in a critical email, even when your data is correct. You feel a wave of guilt after setting a boundary. These habits are frequently mistaken for humility or a high degree of emotional intelligence. Many leaders view this constant second-guessing as the price of being a good boss. In reality, these are the symptoms of a self-trust deficit, a specific struggle that tends to target high performers. Early in your career, approval served as your primary currency. You were rewarded for being dependable, helpful, and easy to work with. These rules provided a sense of safety while you climbed. Leadership, however, demands personal authority. Exercising that authority means you will, at some point, disappoint someone. The anxiety you feel doesn't stem from a lack of skill. It exists because your current responsibilities have outgrown the people-pleasing rules that once kept you safe. Even when you know the right decision, your nervous system often overrides your logic. It stops asking, "What is effective?" and starts asking, "Will this cost me acceptance?" When you try to assert yourself against your old conditioning, your brain triggers 3 specific alarms. First is the identity threat. If you believe your value comes from being liked, a firm boundary feels like a betrayal of your character rather than a professional necessity. Next is the belonging threat. Your brain treats social rejection like physical danger, firing off survival instincts the moment you worry a colleague might be upset with you. Finally, there are the performance rules. These are internal laws dictating that good leaders don't upset people, or that you must have absolute certainty before you can show confidence. The guilt that follows is a sign that you are evolving faster than your conditioning. It reveals that what we call imposter syndrome is often just the fear of trusting your own judgment when others might not approve. Logic alone cannot resolve this conflict. To shift these reactions, you have to use behavioral practice to prove to your brain that you can survive disapproval. Sohail Ahmed's 7-day self-trust reset is a purely behavioral protocol designed to rebuild internal authority through action. Days 1 and 2 are about awareness and restraint. You notice every time you override your own instincts, and you practice removing unnecessary explanations from your speech. On day 3, you deliver a clean no without justifying it. On day 4, you allow someone to feel disappointed without trying to rescue their mood. On days 5 and 6, you build internal evidence. You keep one small, non-negotiable promise to yourself, and you force yourself to make decisions faster than feels comfortable to prevent overthinking. Finally, on day 7, you audit reality. You look at what actually happened and realize that your relationships and your credibility did not collapse because you stood your ground. This is how inner stability is reclaimed, quietly, repeatedly, and without waiting for external applause. When you trust yourself, you no longer feel the need to perform. You can be misunderstood and remain firm, making decisions without needing a total consensus. This protocol was developed by Sohail Ahmed, an expert in self-esteem and mindset who focuses on the intersection of professional achievement and human empathy. Ahmed's philosophy was shaped by his own journey through significant personal loss and professional struggle. He argues that reaching your full potential requires the resilience to move beyond your comfort zone and into a role of service. What boundary are you currently avoiding because of guilt? Where are you over-explaining your choices just to remain acceptable to others? Effective leadership requires self-trust more than it requires more polish. Subscribe to the Confidence Compass newsletter and follow Sohail Ahmed in the description below to start your own reset.